Hi, this is Karen, and welcome to Lazy Good Cooking, the place where you can get good food for as little effort as possible with the best flavor. I am not an expert. I have no formal training. I am just a housewife that really enjoys cooking and likes to get things done efficiently and with as little extra effort as possible. So anything I tell you is not written in stone, and definitely don't take it as gospel because I really don't know what I'm talking about other than the experience I have as a home cook. This particular recipe is what they call cold start yogurt making with the InstantPot. What that means is you do not have to boil the milk before you start the yogurt making process as you would with regular milk. That's why we're using the ultra-pasteurized milk. Before we get going, I like to make sure I have the proper silicone seal in my InstantPot. So if I had just made something spicy, which I did, I would have my red silicone seal in. I don't want my yogurt smelling like the green chili burritos, so I remove it and put in my yogurt seal. And then I'm ready to go. Today we're going to make tzatziki with a half gallon of milk, a cucumber, and some herbs. Let's get busy. You're going to want to gather all your ingredients for the milk to yogurt portion, which is your non-fat dry milk, your milk, and your yogurt starter. Now if you've frozen it, you want to make sure it's thawed. And if you're going to get it from the grocery store, you just need 2 tablespoons with an active culture. And then we're ready to go. It's not necessary to use the non-fat dry milk if you do not want to. It adds protein and helps make sure that your yogurt is as thick as you want it to be. If you don't have any, you can go ahead and do this without that, and it should be just fine. So we want to add 1 cup of non-fat dry milk to your InstantPot. Stir in your half gallon of milk. Try not to whip it or add too much air to it because it's really not necessary. Then I add my starter. Usually I just dump the whole thing in, but for you guys I wanted to show you how much you need, and technically you just need the whey, so that's why I measured the whey and then I just dumped the other part in to prove that that's about how much I have in my egg bite silicone mold starter cube. Once all your ingredients are in the pot, make sure they are well combined. Place your tea towel or paper towel on top and your InstantPot lid just rested on top gently. Then we're going to push the yogurt button and set the timer for 8 to 12 hours. The reason we do this is because the pot will keep the yogurt or milk mixture at a constant temperature of under 120 degrees so the yogurt cultures are not killed with heat. The towel keeps the condensation from running back down into our yogurt while that heat is rising to the top. When the yogurt is done, put it straight into the refrigerator, covered. I left mine in for about 12 hours, but you only need about 6. Remove it from the refrigerator, and this is when I put a little bit of the unstrained yogurt into my sous vide egg bite silicone molds and freeze it. I use this for my starter for future batches of yogurt. You can use ice cube trays. I've done that, where each little ice cube is 1 tablespoon. Or I use these, which each one is a batch of yogurt. Then I get my strainer, line it with cheesecloth, and dump the entire thing that's left into that cheesecloth lined strainer and put it in the fridge again for about 4 to 6 hours. Given the capacity of the bowl under my strainer here, I had to take my yogurt out every 30 minutes or so and drain the whey and put it back in the fridge. While you're waiting, get your other ingredients out, your cilantro, your dill, your green onions, and your cucumbers, and get them ready. I'm using roasted garlic in this recipe because I like the flavor better. It's much milder and it's very sweet, and it mixes in very, very well because it's so soft. I like to do 3 or 4 big heads of garlic at a time, and then I put it in the refrigerator and keep it in a Ziploc bag, already all cooked and ready to go, and I can use it in various recipes that way. While your yogurt is straining, you want to peel, seed, and dice your cucumber. I like it in a small dice. Some people like to grate it, but I like it in a small dice because I like a little crunch. And put that in a strainer and sprinkle some salt over top of it, about a teaspoon or so, and let that drain so that your tzatziki doesn't get watery later on. I have an issue because I only have one good strainer, so I had to get my yogurt out of the strainer so I could put my cucumbers in. At this point, I also finely chop my fresh dill, my cilantro, after I've washed it and gotten all the dust off, because this was a particularly dusty batch of cilantro, and finely chop my green onions. And of course, you can leave anything out that you dislike in this recipe, because that's what cooking's all about. Make what you like, leave out what you don't like. Now I'm going to drain the water off of my salted cucumbers, and I'm going to put them in a paper towel and squeeze as much of that water out as you can, because the yogurt itself is going to weep, the cucumbers are going to weep, and if you don't do these things, then your tzatziki is just going to be a pool of yogurt-filled cucumbers, and that's no fun. So I like mine to be as dry as possible, so this is what I do. Now basically I'm doing the best I can here, because most of the time I do not make any measurements or do anything the same way twice. So I took half of the yogurt that I was given with the half gallon of milk, and I'm going to use that for this recipe, and we'll see how it goes. Now I basically just dump everything together with the juice of a half a lime and mix well with what I used here was about a half a tablespoon of salt, but I would start at a teaspoon of salt first, because you might not like as much salt as I do. My husband seems to think that I put too much salt in everything, but this particular batch turned out absolutely positively perfect the first time. And crack some pepper over top also. I also added what I'd call 5 cloves of roasted garlic, and then you smash that up and put it in as well. Now that's another thing you can hold back on, but when it's roasted like this, it is much sweeter and much less mild than raw garlic, so you'll have to do your own experiments to see what you like. I'm going to give you a little tip here. This is my little stainless steel bar, which takes the scent of garlic and onions off your hands after you're done chopping. But you don't have to have a little bar like mine. You can use any stainless steel that you have. I don't recommend wrapping your hands around a knife or anything, but any stainless steel you have, if you wipe your hands on it, you'll get rid of that smell. I really like my tzatziki to have a thicker consistency, but if you like it thinner, you can easily add more lime juice, or don't strain your yogurt as long as I do. So that's it for the tzatziki. However, with some of the other yogurt that I have for breakfast, I can add a little bit of honey, a little bit of vanilla, some pitted cherries, and some granola, and you have yourself a very healthy breakfast with no additives or preservatives or anything, because you know exactly what is in everything. Enjoy your fully homemade, no additives, preservatives, or anything artificial snack.